Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Tech Tip Tuesday. Filling in for Howard this week, we have a special guest, Gabe Lopez, who's on the engineering side of things. And today, Gabe is going to go into our recently launched new product on the AWS Marketplace, the Zadara Cube. So, without further ado, here's Gabe, and he's going to show us how this works.
All right, thanks, Christy. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the Zadara Storage Cube. It's a relatively new concept, and it's pretty exciting just because of its ease of use and availability to the general marketplace and Amazon. And so we'll go ahead and continue and sort of explore in this discussion the challenges, what this cube, the problems that this cube process and this cube product solve. And then also a little bit about how it's deployed, so you can actually see how you can spin up some storage for your organization very quickly. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and start and look at some on-demand storage challenges and some of the issues that we have with meeting on-demand storage needs. And in typical storage deployments, we have IT overhead and the management and deployment. A lot of cloud stuff takes care of that these days, but it's especially important with the high-performance storage demands that we have. The second is, of course, the technical debt of maintaining all the storage and keeping everything organized. Of course, we do most of that. So we have the monitoring aspects. Who's going to support the storage? What's billing going to be like? And more importantly, how long is this going to take to deploy, provision, to locate, and so forth. So we try to answer those questions here with the Zadara Cube, and our VPSA does that for the most part. The Cube just takes it one step further. So of course, with the IT overhead, we have our fully managed high-performance adjacent clouds that are neighboring AWS. We have, as far as technical debt, we have a very well-maintained infrastructure, of course. Monitoring. We have onboard monitoring, not just for us as the DevOps engineers and cloud engineers, but also for you as the end client. As far as support, and this is a big one, is we have 24-hour world-class support, engineers all over the world that are available to you when you need any sort of assistance, and are even watching your storage when you're not paying attention to it, or you may be doing something else. So we take care of monitoring this 24 hours, and we're very proud of this. Billing, we have automatic subscription through AWS, so that's a really huge plus with the Cube, is that when you purchase through AWS, the billing is consolidated. And of course, launch time is great. You have just a few clicks to launch, and your Cube is up and ready, your storage is ready to go. There are onboarding videos that are available that will take you through the process and show you step by step how to connect to your Cube, and I'm sure if you're in need of storage pretty frequently, you may have after using it a few times, you may say, "Oh, I need a Cube for X or Y or whatever I need to do," and you already know what to do. You just go to AWS, choose the Cube of your size, and go and deploy it. So we really like the fact that this is just very available to our customers and delivers our service and takes it one step further. So what's inside of a Cube? Well, all the things that we love about a VPSA, all of this stuff with Docker container services, redundancy, multi-zone availability, SSD caching, 24-hour support. I mean, these are all things that we love about the current VPSA as it is. And of course, we have that less than 2 millisecond guarantee, so we have that really good throughput and redundancy to the VPSAs. And now we take that to the next level into the Cube. So how do we deploy a Cube, and what's it all about? So from a very, very top level, the Cube deployment process goes through a few steps. First, you purchase and subscribe to the Cube service through the AWS Marketplace, and then through a series of onboarding videos, or in any case, if you need us to help you onboard, that's completely fine. You can contact us as well. But you basically connect to the Cube or to your storage VPSA, and that's done through the direct connect method that we employ for connecting to our VPSAs. Once that's up, your you'll have instructions and during the automated deployment process when you purchase a Marketplace Cube portal to mount your storage, and the instructions will tell you how to do that for both Windows and Linux systems. And of course, like with any other traditional VPSA, you'll be able to manage it. So you'll have the ability to monitor, look at your throughput, look at all your metering, whatever you need to do to manage your storage. So you have full manageability. And again, the onboarding videos that we've created will actually take you through that, and we're always available to help answer those questions if you have any. So, looking a little bit closer at the whole process, this is sort of a top-level overview, but we're going to look a little bit closer. Here, you can search for the cubes. You go to the AWS Marketplace, type in Zadara Cube, and there you'll see the different types of options that we have, the predefined sizes. We have 18 terabytes, 6 terabyte NAS, a 30 terabyte, and so forth. So depending on your needs for performance, we have different types of storage cubes available. So what you do next is once you have selected the cube that you want, you go in and you just do a very quick configuration. Basically where the cube's going to live as far as VPC and subnet, just these different things. And the cube really is the portal, is a web portal that will live on your VPC that you log into in order to manage the actual storage that is deployed by Zadara in the adjacent cloud. So we go through, we set up our configuration for the cube in our specific instance, and we launch with the one click. And then what happens is we get a portal. So we log into the portal, and you're given instructions. It's treated just like a normal EC2 instance. So this EC2 instance comes up, we name it and everything, and then the security groups are already set up so that you have HTTPS or HTTP access to it, and you can dial that in a little bit more if you'd like. And it doesn't require any SSH, but you're welcome to use it if you'd like to log into the Cube instance. It's running on top of an AWS AMI. So you go ahead and throw in your HTTPS address, and you can log into the portal. And once you log into the portal, you'll see here that you have some registration information. It's extremely helpful to us in managing your cube, because then we know whose cube it is. It can remain completely anonymous, of course, but for the best experience and the best support, we like to have your information on board. And you do have the option to opt in or opt out for additional information on new products and services as well. So that's there. So once you click the Create Cube in this portal, what happens is you're taken through a step-by-step process, and you'll actually see the process and progress of this deploying until it is ready. Once it's ready, it'll let you know, hey, VPSA is ready. And what it does is it takes about 20 minutes or less to do that. And during the course of this deployment time, all of the automation of spinning up your your service on our cloud, all of the drives, assembling the RAID groups and the pools, and everything, and preparing your volume all happens in sort of a very automated fashion. Again, once this is complete, you have the ability to modify those configurations in the GUI, but this is sort of a way to just give you storage as you need it right away. So in this Cube automatic provisioning, here in the last page, when it says ready, you'll be able to see different things. You'll be able to see an onboarding document, so this will help you with any onboarding steps as far as accepting direct connects and getting your connectivity ready. Then you also have your ability to log into the VPSA GUI and do your configuration and the management IP. It also just reminds you which VPC that your storage is available to. And it has, of course, your temporary admin username, temporary passcode. And your username is going to be a number like this. And this is just so that we have a very consistent identification for our users. And you also have the ability to create a secondary user using the email address on that contact form So this will automatically create you that secondary user. From the VPC, once this page is available, and once you've done the direct connect acceptance, you'll have the ability to mount the shares on the instances that exist in that VPC/subnet. So here you can just drop this into either Windows, or you can drop the share information into Linux as well on NFS. And of course, there are additional guides to doing that and just additional information in general. At any point in time, if you need any help with any of this, of course, our staff is available 24/7, so you can give us a call or send us an email and go to our support page, and we'll be able to help you with that. So anyway, we've got the automatic provisioning step, and then of course, as directed, either by the videos or by the instruction guide, you'll be able to see, okay, I got to set up my direct connects so that we can mount the storage on the remote on the Zadara cloud. And so here we go. We have the direct connects one, and you'll see two direct connects per instance. In this case, we have two cubes that were deployed, and you can see by the IDs are a little bit different, but you have two direct connects per cube. And so what we do is we just select, and then of course, as per the instructions, we'll attach to the virtual private gateway that's attached to your virtual private cloud. And after that point, then we go ahead and we'll mount our storage. So here you can either do a mount with NFS. Again, you can do a mount with Windows, Samba CIFS, and you should be good to go. And of course, you can do Samba CIFS on Linux if you prefer. And that's a choice that you have. So we mount the storage, and final step here is that we have the ability to manage it. So we log into the VPSA GUI. In this case, you'll notice here that we have a local IP address, and that's because we did a port forward from the Cube instance, which is totally possible. But you can also do it if you have like a Windows machine inside that VPC. You can use that, the browser within there over RDP to go to the VPSA GUI. With all that being said, that pretty much concludes everything that I have to talk about regarding that. And here are some resources related to this. Do I have any questions out there? Does anybody have any questions about the deployment process or the availability of the Cube?
Gabe, thanks so much. That was great, very helpful. We did have one question come in. Someone was asking if this includes both block and file. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So during the initial purchase process, you may see, I'll go ahead and pull this slide up here. You may see the different options that you have here. So you'll have like a 18 terabyte NAS, for example, your file storage on the 6 terabyte NAS. You also see here we do have some SAN options, and we have SSD optimized for that. So the provisioning scripts prepare the Cube for whatever you've selected. So when you select it, it deploys, and it'll deploy for the configuration that you select. In this particular case, you see the NAS. You also see the SAN. They both have file/NAS storage available right out of the box. So on that last page, you'll be able to see what you can connect to. And then the SAN also has some configuration for the SAN in itself. And again, you'll be able to see that inside the VPSA GUI. But you have the ability actually to convert any of these to either SAN or NAS storage, just because you have access to that GUI and the connectivity to get there. So again, these are sort of just kind of pre-built so that when you deploy the Cube, it's ready for you in the format that you see on the selection page. But they are variable, and you can actually play with it and work with it and change it a little bit. So, any other questions?
Yeah, two questions. One, someone asked about the benefits of using a Cube over a standalone VPSA.
Mm-hmm. Well, the VPSA is obviously a great option, and this is how the Cube is actually just built on the VPSA technology, so it's an automatic deploy. But what's really great about the Cube, I think, two big ones, from the IT management perspective, is first off, you can get this on demand. So it's like, oh, I need some storage pretty darn quick. I need maybe a proof of concept that I got to spin up, or maybe I've got you know, a site to host or whatever, a database to host, whatever, you just go to AWS and you just click on it and it deploys and you're up in 20 minutes or so. You got everything up and going and ready to go, and so you can just call up the storage, but you're not just getting sort of anonymous, like EBS or something anonymously managed. You're getting something that has it's high performance, and we have the ability to support it 24/7. I think the support thing is a really big thing. Any issues that you have, I mean, we investigate regardless, related or unrelated. I mean, we look at every little detail. So I mean, you just have that reassurance, and you have that really ease of provisioning right out of the box. It's cool.
Okay, a couple more
That's all.
questions coming in here, Gabe.
Great.
Someone was asking, why is there an EC2 instance type and what is it used for?
Oh, okay. Is this I'm assuming this is probably in the provisioning process when you actually go to purchase and deploy the cube. So the EC2 instance type, the reason why it's there is because it's a requirement for AWS products. They're deployed over EC2 instances. And so ours is just only set to a default of T2 micro. So we only have one instance that we deploy to, and really because the login management deployment portal that you log into when you run through this purchase process does the automatic provisioning. It triggers the automatic provisioning on the Zadara VPSA cube side, and it also allows us to run a keep alive for billing. So this instance does stay active. It does stay active, and it pings AWS, it pings us, and all the powers that be to keep everything going. If for some reason that instance is disabled, and we also really enforce or reiterate that we really want to enable termination protection on this. But in the case that, and you can kind of see the edge of the termination protection warning, but we just want to make sure that this stays active. If for any reason this becomes inactive, then we contact you and just verify, okay, did you intend to cancel your service? Are you done using it? What's the case? So we just it's a piece that's available for control. It can also be used, if you want to do a port forward through it to talk to your GUI, for example, or maybe run a squid proxy or something, for backups or whatever the case. So I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Another question about changing the drive configuration. They're wondering if that's possible. Can we change the drive configuration after the cube is launched? For example, if you have 4 drives that are SSD and you want to switch them to 2 SSD and 2 SATA, how does that work?
Well, in this current form, we do not have the ability to modify drive configurations. It is a static configuration. We do have plans in the works here to where we'll have that configurable and modifiable, but right now it is just a static configuration. So if you get SATA, you got SATA. If you get SSD, you got SSD, and that's how it goes. Otherwise, though, you do have the ability, once it is deployed, regardless of the drives, you do have the ability to maybe modify the way your grade groups are configured or the pools, add more volumes to it, change the volume type to maybe a SAN if you want, or whatever the case, server, add more VPC subnets to it. So there's configuration changes that you can make otherwise. But as far as the type of drives, that is not flexible yet, but I think we have something in the works for that.
Perfect. Yeah, this is a bit of a work in progress. We've got it launched, but there's definitely some additional features that we have on the VPSA that we want to incorporate into the cube. So please stay tuned for that. We'll definitely keep everyone updated as we make those upgrades. Last question. I don't believe we covered how the billing works, Gabe. Do you want to touch on that? If not, I can, but they're just
Oh,
wondering
sure.
how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. Um, Billing is pretty straightforward, I think. I mean, really, it's nothing that you have to worry about with Zadara. So in this case, when you make your cube purchase, you have your billing options. There's going to be an annual billing versus an hourly billing. So you have those two options. And and depending on the type of and really it's the drives and the engine type that drive the cost, inside the prepackaged cube sizes. So when you select your cube, you choose whether it's an hourly or an annual billing, and you launch. Then AWS takes care of your billing. When you're done with the cube, if you're done with the cube, you can actually go to your marketplace control panel, and you can terminate the running instance. Of course, you'll probably have to turn the termination protection off because you have that enabled to keep it safe. So you'll terminate the portal instance, and then you hit the cancel button for that subscription, that service subscription, and then your billing will stop after that point. But you do need to make sure you hit the cancel subscription button to do that. But all of the billing goes directly through AWS, so there's no billing needs or worries or concerns that you have to worry about with Zadara. I hope that answers the question.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, but not quite
Mhm.
as detailed. So I'm glad you took that one. Do you
Uh,
want to go ahead and put the resources page back up, just in case anyone
sure.
needed to review that as we close out here? Because it looks like there's no more questions coming in. Appreciate everyone joining us. Again, here are the resources on screen. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Howard as always, and Gabe is Gabe at zadarastorage.com. If you have any questions in particular about the cube, and additionally, if you have any suggestions for upcoming topics, go to this bit.ly, ask me anything, submit a topic, and if we choose your topic, we'll give you a $25 gift card to Starbucks to reward you. And, we appreciate you helping us out and giving us some topics and see what you want to learn about. So if there is anything that you're interested in, please let us know. And next week, we're going to talk about the Zadara API. Howard will be back. He's enjoying himself in Hawaii now. So he'll be back on, and we hope to see you then. So thanks, Gabe, for joining us this week, and we'll see everyone next week.
All right, thanks. Thank you.